of all ages. This is another episode of Wrestling Chat with Friends. Sound effects?
Meow, 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 meow.
But don't adjust your sets. This is the Thursday show. We are doing it on Wednesday for a number of reasons. One of the reasons is that the AEW show Dynamite, that usually happens on Wednesday, that we talk about on Thursday, happened on Tuesday. So we'll talk a little bit about that today on Wednesday. But before we get into that, we have a very, very special guest that will be joining us that's going to be talking about a fantastic event in Richmond. You don't want to miss that as well. But before all of that, I'm joined as always by my man, EJ the Collector. EJ, how you feeling today?
I am feeling great. I am here. I am present. I am accounted for. And as always, I'm accountable. Since we have such a big show and have such a great guest, let's get Collector's Choice out of the way real quick. The two newest collections for me, a Target exclusive Sammy Guevara.
There he is.
And I picked up on discount, had to add it to my collection because I didn't get the first time, the Cody Rhodes AEW figure. Yeah, only $8.99 at Ringside Collectibles.
That one looks completely different.
Yeah,
so
this was earlier. They make this. This was it's recently done. This was actually put out right as he left, but they made now two. They have this, and the newest release has a Darby Allin that is modeled like this, which is sort of a throwback to the old 80s kind of like big rubber WWF figures they had back in the day. Yeah, Cody was their first one. They just put out a Darby Allin that's like this, but it's like a little insert figure from their recent sets. Always great from Jazzwares and Ringside Collectibles, Cody Rhodes. So I'm now on a third wall. You can't see it yet, but
you can't see it.
I'm now 3 walls here, over 60 figures. I've got a problem, but I don't mind having it. I'm ready to go, man. Let's get it on.
I am ready to go as well. I'm very excited. I'm very excited about Sammy's big match next week as well. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's just kick it off like we always kick it off. EJ, a lot going on since we last connected. What are you popping for in AEW this week?
What I am popping for in AEW this week is something that was sent out actually just a couple of hours ago. It was an update from the Cowboy himself, Hangman Page. He tweeted out that he was feeling good. He was feeling better. He appreciated all the thoughts and concerns and all the tweets that were sent over the last 24 hours. As I hope most of you know, he had a kind of an injury last night that put an end to his match, put an end to the show, but AEW rallied. It was a scary situation, but he himself tweeted that I believe he was out of the hospital. He had spent the overnight in the hospital, but he was feeling better. Full diagnosis sort of hasn't fully been revealed, with the fact that he was tweeting feeling good, saying he was feeling good. That's what I was popping for, because my heart was sort of in my chest a little bit last night, as I'm sure most of us fans watching the AEW was last night. So that update from Hangman, the good update, that's what I'm popping for. How about you?
Indeed. Very scary scene. Very scary scene last night. And it's, we all watch I watch a bunch of sports, and it all kind of gets connected. We saw what happened on the football field with the Miami quarterback a couple weeks ago, and then you saw what happened with Hangman in the ring, which is another concussion protocol type thing, and it was scary. I will say that AEW, John Moxley in particular, MJF, like what they did to scramble at the end of probably what they have about a good 8 to 10 minutes.
It was definitely 6 to 8 minutes left in the show, for sure.
Yeah, they had a lot of time, because that match was not supposed to end the way that it ended. And Mox was a pro. MJF comes out, they cut like new promos, still build up their feud. It was really amazing what they did on the fly.
I would imagine that the announcement for MJF and Mox at Full Gear, which MJF announced, that might not have been.
I don't think it was planned. It couldn't have been
revealed at all. Yeah, I mean, I expected some sort of interaction with MJF at the end of the show, but it was definitely not what it turned out to be. So good of those guys to get work it on the fly and make for an exciting ending to what was almost a disastrous ending. And I did see some video that was shown on Twitter of after the show. Mox could have cut a long promo for the fans about how Cleveland was his home, and that Arena was his home. Cincinnati, and Wheeler Yuta was out there. Claudio was out there interacting with some of the fans. So, which I'm sure they were going to do anyway, but they really kind of put the ended the night on a high note, not just for the TV audience, but for the fans as well.
Well, that again, I think everybody's popping for that. That was a fantastic news that we got today. Scary scene. If you go back to the matches, you know where I'm going to go with this.
I do.
I love Penta. I love Ray Phoenix. I love Pac. They defended the Trios championship. A little bit of riff in the Devil's Triangle there, but knowing what we know about what Penta and Ray did over the weekend at Triple Mania,
right?
Both of them had headlining banger matches, and then a couple days later have to get in the ring against Best Friends and do what they did. Fantastic. Ray Phoenix to me is like, it's interesting because in Triple Mania I think Penta's a bigger star, but Ray Phoenix to me is just like top notch. This guy can't do that wrong for me.
We were on our Tuesday show that we did, our WWE show. We talked about how Ricochet might be the most exciting high flyer that some of us have ever seen. Ray Phoenix is probably right up there as an amazing performer, high flyer. What he can do, his acrobatic skills are really almost second to none.
It doesn't matter what he does. Every time I watch him, I'm just riveted.
Yeah, he's great.
Hey, so, ladies and gentlemen, this is WCWF. This is the Thursday show. We usually bring on a friend on the Thursday show. It's on the Family Podcast Network. And like always, it's streaming live on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. I hope you're joining us. If you're not, you can rewatch it later, or you can listen to it on podcast. But I am so excited because I think last week I got an email about a wonderful, wonderful event that's taking place here in Richmond on November 6th, I believe it is, and it is Wrestling with Cancer. It's just, we're about to bring on a guest that I'm so excited to have on the show, get to know a little bit better. We're going to bring her in right now, Erica Porter, a.k.a. Jungle Girl from Wild Wrestling. Welcome to WCWF. We're so excited to have you.
There you go.
We got sound effects. Our sound effects are not the best. We're working on
it.
Listen,
I like it. Work with what you got.
Jungle Girl, welcome. I don't want to bury the lead, and I don't want to get it wrong. I've been doing some research, but you have a major event coming up in Richmond that is special for a very special cause.
Yes.
Tell all of our audience tell us about Wrestling with Cancer at Hardywood on November 6th, how it came about, what it's going to be. The floor is yours. We're so excited to have you.
So, my journey with Wow Women of Wrestling started 22 years ago in the LA Forum with David McLean and an amazing roster of women, which is only just, where we are now as compared to where we were 22 years ago is amazing. It's amazing. The athleticism is just through the roof. The caliber of the production is nothing like we've ever done. So, WOW can be on weekends. We're in syndication. So please check your local listings. In Richmond, we're here, I believe, at 7 p.m. on Saturday evenings. On the CW, it's an amazing show. So with that, in June of 2020, I was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. And, I am a champion through and through. And so for me, when life tries to give you the 1, 2, 3, you don't just, let yourself be pinned to the mat. So I made a decision, and instead of, crawling up in a corner and allowing that to define who I was, I made a decision to help the people that were in the same type of position as me, and realized that in the medical community, an individual, when they're dealt with a diagnosis, you go in there and you relinquish most of your control to the medical community, and you feel almost helpless. But yet there's something that is well within that individual's control, and that is moving through cancer. Movement is powerful. It is what I have done my entire life. And it really, I think, has set me up for success in really dominating the ultimate villain in cancer. And so for me, it was just this natural marriage between my wrestling career and what I built with the Endorphasm Foundation, which is the ultimate villain being cancer and the superhero being the individuals that make the decision to empower themselves and to move through cancer and to move through life. So the foundation empowers those individuals, provides services, classes, different kinds of movement, whether it's yoga, walking, swimming, biking, whatever it is. We meet that individual where they are based on where they currently are physically, where their treatment is, where they need to be, and where they're going. We provide these services for free. So coming in Richmond, the weekend of November 4th, so it's November 5th and 6th. November 5th, we have a VIP sponsored dinner, which is our VIP sponsors. That event is an evening with the WOW superheroes. And so we will have 10, including myself, which makes 11, WOW Women of Wrestling superheroes. And so it's an opportunity to really engage with them, have dinner with them, have an event like nothing else. And then on Sunday at Hardywood in Richmond, the one down near Scott's Addition, we're going to be doing an event there, which to me is the main event. It's open to the public. And it's an opportunity for individuals to come in to work out with the superheroes, to do a meet and greet, to kind of interact. There's going to be a band, Blair's West Band is playing. And it's just going to be a really cool, fun event. And it's all to benefit the Endorphasm Foundation, which then helps the individuals and serves those individuals that are battling cancer. And it provides those services free of charge.
That's amazing. I have two immediate follow-ups, and they're both kind of origin stories, but they're two different ones.
Yeah.
22 years ago, even with WOW and all, like, how did you get the bug to start professional wrestling, do all the training to be be the jungle girl that you are now? So that's one origin story, and then two, I got to follow up about the foundation in regards to just your commitment and your decision to start it, because I've seen videos and read articles about your history as well. And you were right. You have so many superheroes that have come to you, and you have not only you taken on the journey yourself, but you are helping so many heroes move through this in a way. So two origin story questions. Hopefully they're not too much, but I got to know both, because there's just such pivotal moments in what's happening on the 5th and the 6th.
Oh man, it's, it really is. I'm in a very unique position to have been really part of the inception of WOW, that first vision of what David McLean had, from that kind of transitioning from Glow and starting WOW. And I don't think the world was really ready for what WOW Women of Wrestling was.
I can only imagine. No,
it really wasn't. Back in 2000, it just was not prepared. I think now is the time. I mean, WOW has a global footprint. It is an all women's promotion with a global footprint. And so with the backing of Paramount, with a 5-year deal, it's unprecedented. And it's amazing. So I had friends growing up. I went to school in Pittsburgh, and I actually very good friends with Matt Bloom. And when Matt went to wrestle in WWE, he basically was like, "Hey, Erica, this is right up your alley. This would be something that I know that you would love to do." And at the time, I'm like, "Yo, but the women are like, they're managers and they're sideshows, and they're not taken seriously, and they don't respect them when they're in the ring. And they just, the commentators and everybody, it was more about what they looked like. And some of those women could really wrestle, but they really weren't given the opportunity to shine." And so when I found out about this, and I didn't know it was a wrestling promotion, but I found out there was this show, and they were looking for athletic women for the superhero show. And I was intrigued enough to go. And when I went, I learned that it was WOW Women of Wrestling. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever. So I called Matt Bloom right after, and I was like, "Dude, there's an all women's promotion that is basically the storylines, the entire entity of the programming is built around women. And so I didn't even at that ground level, I didn't even realize the impact it would have years down the road. I saw the vision. Unfortunately, I was there with David and Selena Bambi and saw the vision of what he saw. The world wasn't really ready for it yet. And it's had its iterations, and it's been back on a digital media platform, and then it's was on another network for a period of time, and unfortunately that ended for different reasons. But now we've got an amazing setup, and Jungle Girl is still alive and well. And yeah, the women that we have are incredible. I mean, first and foremost, I'm a competitor, and I'm in the ring for one purpose, and that is to win and to defeat and to have a game that's elevated beyond description. And so, do I respect the women? Absolutely. But my job is to get in the ring and to win. So there's always going to be that tension, that champion tension, and that competitive tension. But otherwise, I respect the women tremendously that are part of the organization.
Well, David McLean is known pretty much as a promoter. I would call him an innovator. He has brought, from Glow, which if you're sort of under 40, you may not remember that from the 80s, but
people have it now. The Netflix show.
The Netflix show
really brought it back.
You know about it now.
Yeah, he's a real innovator and a champion for sometimes the under promoted. He's the promoter of the under promoted. And so how has your relationship with him, and does it all sort of start from him on down, or does he let you women sort of like run the show? Is he just there to sort of be supportive? What's his role in your relationship with him?
No, so my relationship is great with him. So I've had, even when WOW was not on air, and and it wasn't it had its dark moments. And David and I have had a really good relationship. We've stayed in contact, different projects that he's had. He's brought me on to work with him. I think that we have just a tremendous mutual respect for one another. As a performer, as an athlete, but also as a businesswoman, as conceptually and just kind of my mind and how it works, because I see the business from a talent, as a wrestler. I see the business also being an entrepreneur and a businesswoman. So there's a lot of synergy for David and I think there's just a really nice marriage of two people. I think that for him, the best partnership that he's had is with Jeannie Buss, who is our executive producer and the owner of WOW. And it's that same thing where she understands his vision and understands the bigger picture and allows David to be who David is and to see the things that he needs to do and see them through. And then she does what she does brilliantly, and they stay out of each other's way, but they come together really, really nicely. And so it's the best partnership. And that, coupled with the partnership with Paramount, it is a recipe for success.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a 5-year deal. Let
me ask you this.
Definitely an innovator. I would say he's the godfather of women's wrestling. I mean, to give it the platform that he's given it. And I really think that because of WOW's first, run in 2000, it really changed the way the other promotions viewed their female athletes.
The 5-year deal started this year. You're at year 1, right?
Yep.
Excellent.
Yep. So
let me ask you this in regards to not just even other promotions, but the industry in general and the fans. We've seen, obviously, like you said, so much has changed in 22 years in regards to women's wrestling. I think we are in a much better place now than we have before. But as you look around the landscape of wrestling and you see things like women headlining WrestleMania, or you know, I always, as a black man, I always get a little get that little itch when I hear like first when it comes to like, you know, the first something. But we're hearing a lot of first over the last 5 years in wrestling. How do you feel the industry has evolved when it comes to women's wrestling, and that includes the fans in accepting women's wrestling and having women more over than they've ever been before?
I think that's it starts from the top up. And I think when the conversation changes, when the women are in the ring and the conversation changes and it's about their wrestling and it's about their athleticism and it's allowing them to develop storylines and to be a bigger part of each promotion, I think that that's huge. And I think that when the conversation and the narrative changes within the organization, that pushes out into the fan base. And I think that when the organization takes their athletes seriously, then the fans will take their athletes seriously, because there have been women that could work and they could wrestle a long time ago. They just were not given that opportunity and they weren't taken seriously by the promotion. And so now they are. And there are more women. So when I mean, I remember, you know, WOW took a lot of women that had never had any wrestling experience before, train them. I mean, and train them. We worked our butts off. And we got out there and were able to put together matches and really really sync up and have kind of chemistry with one another, which is really hard to do when you're starting at ground zero. And I think now you're seeing more women in the wrestling schools and there's more talent out there. I remember working the indie scenes and often I'd have to go and work, you know, some random Doink the Clown someplace because there weren't any women to work. And now, you know, there's a plethora of women and they are talented.
Every indie show has a couple of women matches on their card and some really talented ladies. We saw an event this summer that featured just some spectacular women's wrestling that was in many ways more exciting than all the other matches, because these women every time are putting everything into it. They're not missing. They realize the opportunity that they didn't have before that they have now, and they are making the most of it every single time. I've watched a lot of WOW in the last couple of days on YouTube, and we heard you were coming on. And for anyone who's listening out there who maybe hasn't checked it out yet, you know, if you put on blinders, you wouldn't know you weren't watching a top level promotion. The action's just as good, the storylines are just as good. It is really an exciting time.
Are better.
Probably even better.
Well, and I'll tell you why. So there's a real investment in each individual and developing each person and really finding that marriage of, I said to you, you know, Erica Porter is Jungle Girl and Jungle Girl is Erica Porter. I mean, I really, truly embody everything that is Jungle Girl. And, you know, I'm a no nonsense. I'm a competitor through and through. I am a champion through and through. And if you come before me, I am going to fight. And that is who I am as a person. And so really, I would say that we are one and the same. Now, you know, I put a little, you know, some stripes on my face and it's game on, but really it's always game on for me.
That's awesome. How much input, if you will, because we always hear in the industry about creative. People want more input in their creative. How much input did you have in the creation of Jungle Girl?
A lot. I mean, I would say that, you know, so really when we were training and we got in the ring, you know, learning everything and going through the movements, I think that, you know, I had a natural inclination of what I wanted to do. Like just my demeanor, my disposition when I was in the ring was very kind of animalistic. I liked climbing the turnbuckles. I liked high flying moves. I liked big, powerful moves. I'm a strong woman. And I think it was just a natural fit. I loved Superfly Snuka growing up. And I just was hell bent on, you know, bringing that kind of female version of Superfly Snuka. And I wanted to do the splash. I wanted to pay tribute to an individual that I was inspired by, and I loved watching him week in and week out. And so that was just a really natural fit. And I really am from the Amazon. I mean, my family is from Colombia, South America. And so it's just, it all blended together, and it just came together really nicely.
That's amazing. EJ, you have one. I've got one more after this, but EJ, you take the next one.
I want to know sort of currently, like what is your current, what are you involved in right now? Basically, who do you want to talk to right now? If you were to cut a promo right now, who's on your mind right now? Not just maybe in WoW, but throughout the landscape. Who are you generally? Who do you get your sights set on that maybe doesn't realize that Jungle Grrrl has their sights set on them?
Well, listen, I have some unfinished business in WoW, and a champion always fights, and a champion always competes, and the beast has something that's mine. So to the beast, I say, you may think you're the biggest, you may think you're the baddest, but you don't have the mindset like Jungle Grrrl does. You don't have that animalistic instinct. I am a mother, I am a fighter, and I fight for what's mine. So baby, be ready.
The beast has no idea what's coming. Yeah, I would not want to be the beast right now. That's great.
Oh, this is WCWF. This is the Thursday show. On a Wednesday, we have a special guest, Jungle Grrrl, Erica Porter. I'm gonna say this wrong. I've been trying to avoid saying. I want to say Endorphasm Foundation.
It is Endorphasm.
I need to know, because I've seen what you're doing through the foundation, how you have taken what could have been something that really shut you down. You didn't let it shut you down. And not only that, you've inspired so many others to keep moving, to keep working out, doing what they need to do. Tell us about the foundation and how this drive and inspiration to help others get up, move through their day, and be the heroes that they are.
So first I want to address like what Endorphasm is, because people, kind of will say it and then just let it pass by. But Endorphasm is the moment, that point during movement, during physical exertion, that you feel all things are possible. And it really is about the power of the feeling of the power, and that it's powerful and we control that. That's something that is ours. The vessel that we have, that is our responsibility. How we care for it, how we move, all of that is ours. And so for me, when I received, and people ask me, at what point in time did you get angry? At what point in time did you get sad? I have had an incredible life, and I really have done incredible, amazing, epic things that most people only dream of. And so if it were all to end tomorrow, there's no regret. There's no sadness. For me, the conversation was, I have, at the time, he was 11 years old, but Jungle Boy is, I have a son. And so the conversation was, how do I tell my son that his mother is battling with cancer, but how do I do it in a way where I am honest and open, but I'm like, hey man, I'm okay. The doctors got me, but I got me. And so that was my biggest thing, is that all of the people around me, they're the ones that have to pick up the pieces when I'm gone. I have a legacy that I am leaving, and that legacy is Jungle Grrrl. That legacy is the Endorphasm Foundation. That legacy is empowering individuals to control an aspect of their life that's theirs, and that's self-care. And so for me, channeling my energy into something that I know will be forever is exhilarating for me, and it gives me purpose, and it gives me drive, and it really, I believe in its mission. I believe in it wholeheartedly, and I believe in the opportunity to change people's lives. And so for me, it's really about in life, how can you serve others? And this is the way that I can serve others.
That is phenomenal. That is
Wow.
phenomenal, and you're helping so many people. When did the foundation start? And I know it's free for a lot of folks, but how do they? When did it start? How do they get involved? How do they get your look? I go to the gym probably I would say 3 or 4 times a day now. Look, Elliot knows this is a fairly new thing for me. I'm not in the best shape in the world, but I've got
All right.
I've got a trainer. I'm going to the gym, but that when did this part start in regards to training others? I seen your class. I don't think I can. I don't think I can handle it. It seems
Everybody
rough.
can handle it.
It seems rough.
Look, to me, it's about, the issue is that people go in and they focus on what they are not, right? And to me, you have to focus on what you are and
Okay.
what you can do. And for everybody, that's different. I mean, what I can do is going to be different than what the next person can do. And this journey for me has been very eye-opening too, because I've transitioned in different ways where, when I discovered that I had bone mets, I had a really difficult time just bending over and tying my shoes. And so then I had radiation that addressed that. And so it's really stepping back. It's taking your ego out of it. It's doing what you can do. So instead of focusing on, oh, well, I can't do that, it's really about focusing on what can I do? And being in that space and being like, you know what? I'm better for this today than I was yesterday, and I'll be better tomorrow than I was today. And it's about controlling the aspects of your life that you can control. I can't control the fact that I have cancer. That's beyond my control, but I can certainly control how I react to it. Part of that is moving through cancer. Part of that is the mindset that I choose to have in that space. So I am a mother. I am a professional wrestler. I am a business owner. I am a wife. I am so many things, and I happen to have cancer.
Wow.
So I know that you could come into that space, by the way.
What's so great is that this philosophy, this mindset, this discipline, everything you're promoting, this works even if you don't have any a medical issue. If you are struggling with something other than that, maybe just mental health. I had a medical condition last year, and I had a version of that other things you talked about, but I wish I had someone like you along the way to kind of give me that reinforcement that's needed, because it's so easy to, like you said earlier, kind of curl up and put your head in the sand and say, yeah, I'm not going to address it. When it turns out that really the best thing that one can do usually for their mind, for their body, is what you're saying: tackle it head on, not let it define you, and find every possible way to improve the vessel and what the impact you're going to leave. Jungle Boy is a really, really lucky kid for lots of reasons, but to have this champion, there, what a role model you are. It's just so awesome. I've got goosebumps right now.
He's a good kid too. He really is a good kid. He was Jungle Boy before there was a Jungle Boy.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
I like it. No, this is really fascinating. And it's really awesome. And like you said, I don't know a single person that cancer hasn't touched. It just seems, if you're lucky like we are to get to a certain age, it seems to be ubiquitous, whether it's a family member or a friend. I actually happen, Elliot knows this, but I happen to serve on the board of the Ask Childhood Cancer Foundation.
Oh, I love it.
And my son is an Ask kid. And so he's doing really well. He was diagnosed at 4 months. He just celebrated his 8th birthday, and he's doing great. But through his journey is how we found out about the foundation, and through the foundation we found out about so many other kids in the Central Virginia area, all throughout the state, that is going through this battle. So we will definitely be in touch with you.
Kids too.
That's what I was told. I was talking to some of your colleagues and staff, and they were saying, and I was like, "There's got to be a way," because we have so many wonderful kids all throughout Virginia now. So Ask is predominantly in Central Virginia, but it's actually throughout the entire state now. with state funding in the budget for the first time ever last year. So they've got a wonderful program that will be in touch. But
They're incredible.
But before that, I need you. There's two things before you give us the final plug in regards to what to expect both on the 5th and 6th, because I don't want to this dinner is going to be a big part of this as well, not just what happens on the 6th. We want to talk about that. I have to ask if you were going to put a Mount Rushmore of women wrestlers. So there's 4 of them. Yeah, yep. This is it. Think about we'll do it in reverse order. Tell us about one more time exactly what to expect.
I would totally be on there.
I love it. I love it. There's only 3 left. Tell us a little bit about the dinner and spending some time with and who are you bringing in on the 5th. And you did talk about Hardywood and free to the public and being able to move. But the 5th is hopefully a place where the foundation can raise a lot of money. So I really want you to kind of tell the people what to expect if they're able to come out.
Yeah, so the 5th is a VIP sponsor dinner, and it is for our $1,000 sponsors and more. And what that gives them basically is an exclusive evening with 11 of the WoW superheroes. Wow. So it is at the Commonwealth Club down, I believe it's 501, oh my goodness, North Franklin Street, I want to say.
Sounds right, yeah.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So we know it's downtown.
I wasn't familiar with the place so I have a member who is a member at the gym who is a member there, and he said, Erica, listen, we will get you an amazing deal to host the event there and bring the women in, and we just will wine and dine everybody.
401 West Franklin.
401 West Franklin. Okay, 401. Thank you. I'm trying to remember all the addresses. I have so many numbers in my head. But it's an opportunity for these individuals to have a meet and greet. It's an hour cocktail hour. From there, then they will be escorted in, and they will be seated at tables that are headed by one of the superheroes. Then we will do ring entrances where these women will come in, and they are in full costume. And I mean, it is a full-blown WoW event. And these ladies will come in, each when they're addressed and come in with their ring entrance. And then, there's going to be video that's playing with kind of this compilation of each of their like matches and behind the scenes and that kind of thing. So it's going to be a whole production.
That's awesome.
And then they're going to go in and they're going to sit down at the table that they were assigned to. So we have Lana Starr, who is the only other original WoW superhero.
Oh, wow.
So she started with me in 2000. So Lana Starr will be there. Lana Starr has of course, Lana thinks it's the Lana Starr show. So Lana has one of her little proteges, Penelope Pink, who will be there as well. We have Miami Sweet Heat, who are a riot and are going to take over WoW if David doesn't stop them. So Miami Sweet Heat, that's Lindsay and Lori. Then we have Chantilly Cello, who's been with the WoW organization for just about 10 years now. We have Princess Aussie, who has also been with WoW for, I want to say about 4 or 5 years. We have Coach Campanella, which is Coach is new and Coach is amazing, and she's going to get everybody in order. Coach plays to win. And then we have Candy Crush, who transitioned from being a boxer to now being a professional wrestler, and she's extraordinary. We have I'm trying to think everybody. I haven't mentioned everybody. There's one that I'm going to leave.
Yeah, let's do everyone.
I'll tease it.
Okay.
So we may or may not have the WoW champion.
You just called her out, so I don't know if that's going to happen.
I don't know. I hope you know the Commonwealth
may or
Club.
May not. We're all
the Commonwealth Club, it's very well funded. So if some tables get broken, if some chairs end up in half,
They'll be fine.
No problem.
They owe the world this.
They have
Mhm.
no idea what's about to hit them.
Yep.
So,
That's
I mean,
amazing.
it really is. So we also have, I don't know if you ever listened to, so if you know Hermie Sadler.
Oh yeah.
So Hermie Sadler's got a podcast. It's Sadler and the Senator. And so I just went on their podcast, but so
great.
they're going to be there. They're
That's
going to
fantastic.
lead a kind of ET style Q&A with the
Cool.
WoW superheroes.
That's
It's
great.
going to be, and you can only get it that night. I mean, this is it. Doors are closed. Cameras are going to be shut. Paramount will be there kind of capturing all of it.
Very cool.
Behind the scenes of all of it. But if you're not there, you're not going to know what happens.
That's your tip. Get your tickets.
Tip.
Get your groups together. You don't want to miss this.
Where do people buy tickets?
So they can go to endorphasmfoundation.org, but and on there, look at the events page. And on the events page, they can click. And that will also give them a little bit more information about what the organization is about. I mean, it really does. It takes education. It takes time. It takes money to build a nonprofit. It takes a village. You guys are part of that village because spreading the word about what we do is a huge part of it. I'm greatly appreciative that you guys are giving me an opportunity to talk about the foundation, to talk about the event, to talk about WoW Women of Wrestling. Because I could talk.
Well, you're stuck with us now. This will not be the only time you see our faces.
I love it.
You're completely stuck with us now, and we I can't speak for EJ, but I know we are. When we saw the mission of this and what you're putting together and what you've done, and then obviously learning about your journey as well as what you're doing for others, how could you not sign up? How could you not want to be a part of spreading this amazing message of what you're doing, what the foundation's doing, and this wonderful event? So Jungle Girl, Erica, all of it. We're still not going to let you off the hook. You got to tell us at least two of the people on your Mount Rushmore, but we really appreciate you.
Oh man, that's so tough. There's so many great women. Listen, let me tell you who. One of the women that I had a tremendous amount of respect for, and unfortunately was not really with WWE at the time of like, I'd like to see her now is Molly Holly.
What? Yeah.
I had a tremendous amount of respect for her as, first of all, developing other women and passing on her knowledge to other women. That to me is just the sign of a leader, someone who doesn't feel like they need to keep it all to themselves. And she wanted to make people better than herself. And to me, that's a great trait to have. And I have a lot of respect for an individual that is their mission and goal is to elevate women's wrestling and wrestling in general. God, so hard.
Well, we could leave it there. That was a good one. One.
Really interesting you brought Molly Holly up. About a couple of months ago, was over the summer, my wife's best friend who lives in Minneapolis knows I do this show and sent me a text that said, hey, Elliot, I'm at a wedding right now, and do you know who this person is? Sent me a photo of her and Molly Holly together.
Oh, really?
Yep. She was at the wedding. They had a mutual friend, and my wife's best friend said she was the nicest person, like was super great, and was so down to earth and casual. So yeah, Molly Holly's always been one of my favorite as well, and even more so now.
There's so many good wrestlers. There's so many. I mean, it's so hard.
Who are you seeing? Is there someone like today active that you think is really setting the tone, and someone outside of WoW? Because I think all the ladies in WoW are blazing their own trail.
Asuka.
There you go.
Asuka's amazing.
I like it. Amazing.
Asuka's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's amazing. I mean, I don't know. I want to beat all the women in WoW, so I don't want any of them on my Mount Rushmore.
Right. No, well, there was a Facebook comment we put it up there that said Jungle Girl versus Santana Garrett is my favorite WoW match ever. So there's somebody that commented in the chats already. They can comment live. You can also, not only can you comment live, but you can buy tickets for
Yes.
November 5th, and November 5th is the VIP dinner. And then you can go out to Hardywood. We'll definitely see if we can try to make it out to Hardywood.
I'll be there.
That is a Saturday and Sunday. So the dinner is on Saturday, and Hardywood's kind of movement with all the stars will be on Sunday.
And then it's a big party. I mean,
it's a huge party. It's
a band. The pizza's going to be going. I wanted to say one thing too. So
Absolutely.
There is a raffle item. We're not going to do it as an auction. We're going to do it as raffle. So there's a bunch of different raffle items, WOW items, Lakers items. So my original WOW Jungle Girl costume, I will be raffling that off. This is my costume that I have wrestled more than 20 WOW superheroes in. I won the WOW championship in that costume. I held my son in that costume. I wrestled in the LA Forum. I wrestled in Vegas. I wrestled in the Belasco Theater in that costume. There's only one.
I mean, as you can see, I am the collector.
EJ the collector.
We might need to pick another item to raffle off. You and I might need to make some side deal for some collectibles. I can't wait to be a part of that raffle and go out there on Sunday, especially. It is free and open to the public. There's a $25 suggested donation, but yes. we want people out there, regardless of their means, come out there because the cause is good. You're going to go out with a sweat you're going to break from moving. You're going to get loaded up with pizza. You're going to hear great music, and you're going to meet tremendous, talented women out there.
Keita Rush, that's another one. Keita Rush will be there.
Keita Rush is going to be there too.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean these are some women who, if you haven't seen some of them before, get ready because WOW is on TV regularly, and these women, I'm sure, do lots of dates as well, and you'll get these names down, and you'll want to keep up with them and follow them because this WOW is one of the hottest things going, in my opinion.
It is, and Paramount is fully invested in.
You got a great partner.
The long haul, so they've been great, and I'm excited. I mean, it's nice to see all of your work and all of that come to fruition, and to really.
You are inspiring. I cannot wait to meet you in public.
Yes, we are so excited. We're so excited that you joined us on WCWF. We wish you the very best. We will see you soon, and we want everyone to go out, get tickets, come out on the 6th to Hardywood. It's going to be a big party. Thank you, Erica Jungle Girl.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
That's greatest. I mean, wow!
What a great guest! How fantastic was that?
Darius Lockhart. Don't bother. We're good.
No, don't say that. Wait a second. Wait a second.
We still want you, Darius.
What a fantastic event!
Yeah,
what a fantastic cause! What a fantastic guest! We can't say anymore. Even if you just go online and Google, say it for me, EJ, because I don't want to say the foundation wrong.
Endorphasm. Yes. Endorphasm Foundation.
Please Google it and learn more about Erica's story and what she's doing, not just for herself, but for so many others. It is so important and so awesome. So I'm so glad, and we'll try our best to be out there and support as best we can.
For sure. That was great.
That was a lot of fun. So let's we're pushing up on our hour. We've got about. Well, let's just go to the big finish in regards to what's happening, what we hope to see as we move forward. This is kind of Thursday night's our AEW show. Is there any big storylines before we wrap it up that's intriguing you AEW style right now?
Yeah, here's what's intriguing to me. It came out today that Ace Steel has been released by AEW. Okay. That's really like one of the first shoes to drop as far as like it was a signal that maybe this investigation from the All Out post-Scrum fiasco maybe getting ready to wrap up. I think
it's about time.
As of this week, it was being reported that neither the Elite or CM Punk or Ace Steel or anyone still facing still under suspension has had any contact with anyone there. They don't know their statuses. Nothing's being reported, as it should. That's the way to go if you're conducting like a real, authentic investigation that could have legal ramifications. We shouldn't be hearing anything about it. So the fact that Ace Steel has been released, I don't know if that is the same as fired or not. I'm not going to bother trying to read into it anymore and see if that's an indication that Punk won't come back, whatever. But it's really the first sort of announcement we've had in a while since the handful of ancillary guys came off their initial suspension, which we all suspected they were going to. I expect that you'll either see the Elite on TV in some manner going, in the next couple of weeks. Punk obviously is going to be out of action for a while. But, I mean, I think the wrestling world still is sort of reverberating from that brawl because there hasn't been any sort of conclusion to it. So the fact that we've seen one producer released or coach released, but not, I think it just makes everyone think like, okay, we may actually get back to some normalcy and not have this cloud hanging over AEW, which it just has been for a while.
So is it at the point now for you where you just want it to be over, them to decide to do what they need to do and move forward?
The shows have been really good the last few weeks, so I haven't bothered really worrying about it too much. I think AEW will benefit by having Kenny Omega in their fold because he's a huge talent. The Bucks are a huge talent. It's no secret that they're not my favorite tag team. I've heard just a lot of them, some backstage accusations, how they handle themselves. I've heard the exact opposite too. So I don't honestly know what to believe. But, the shows have been great. Like, have I been missing the Bucks? No. Have I been missing Omega? It's good to have a top talent in your team. But
I haven't. I can tell you honestly, I haven't.
I haven't been missing it. The shows have been just fine. If there was if AEW was a world where the Elite and CM Punk weren't there, it would look like it has for the last month and a half, and I've enjoyed it.
But you got MJF that came back, and he's carrying. I mean, we can talk about the MJF William Regal promo, which some people are saying one of the best of all time.
I think it was coming off the heels of a very what we talked about. The Bray Wyatt's promo last Friday was interesting. It was powerful. It had similarities as far as sounding genuine. There was obviously more to Bray's promo. Obviously.
I don't know if the promo for promo. MJF's was probably a better promo.
I think overall it was and to say that MJF may have cut his best promo last night says a lot because we have felt that way many times over. Some of his promos with Punk, his promo going back even to with Cody. He is everything he says he is. He's a 26-year-old generational talent that we have not seen.
Do you think they're slightly too long, or do you think they're perfect?
I think they're fine. I think they're fine. I think MJF,
they're slightly long.
I think MJF is so good and
slightly long.
Any promo could be cut. Any promo given can be cut by a minute. But
Regal was equally as good, right? Regal did a great job last night.
Regal did a great job. Just his facial expressions were goading him on. I was thinking for a second, like, wow, if MJF obviously putting a lot of his emotion into that promo, but when I was seeing Regal tilting his head, smirking, I was surprised. How is MJF not controlling himself and not going to roll off and pop him right in the mouth? Because that's what it certainly looked like it was going for. And at one point, it looked like he may have. Yeah,
when he turned his back, I was like, you should just hit him because that was my point. When Regal turned his back into this, I was like, MJF, because at this point, MJF is a heel, but he's also super over. And I'm just like, keep doing heelish stuff. Like, hit him in the face because that's what a heel does.
This conflict that he seems to be having is not really heelish behavior. So one of two things going to happen. He's going to make some turn to face, or kind of somewhat like Bray. This confliction is all a ruse, and he's going to end up being more evil than ever. He's only a heel when he cuts it on fans.
No, he's the devil. He's got to triple down. This is all the same thing with Bray. This is all in your imagination that he's a good person. He is not a good person. He's gonna triple down. He's gonna be the worst heel you've ever seen on the face of heels, and I love it because it's gonna happen. There's no positive face spin, and if it is, it would disgust me. It would be MJF going face would be the worst decision maybe in wrestling history. So he's gonna triple down.
Do you think there's a chance that Regal turns on Mox?
Nope.
And hooks up with MJF. You don't think those two? Nope, not at all. Okay.
If anyone goes rogue, it's Yuta, right? Didn't Yuta?
It's Yuta. I could see Bryan Danielson also. Like I don't know how you turn him heel because he's so over. Yuta would make sense, but didn't
the promo last night wasn't that like Yuta and a little bit of internal strife there?
But Yuta was seemingly having an issue with Danielson's. I don't know if that's Yuta kind of going rogue or there's going to be increasing resentment toward Danielson for some reason. I'm not sure where it's going, but all of that, there's this subplot with Wheeler and Danielson. Mox doesn't need a stable. Mox doesn't need, and the Blackpool Combat Club is still fairly new, so I can't see it imploding yet. But something about it last night, something about those two in the ring, I could see the fact that they leaned so much on Regal believing in him, putting this, trying to cultivate this out of MJF for so many years. Wouldn't shock me if there's this little Paul Heyman advocate situation that could be going on. I doubt it, but not that MJF needs a mouthpiece either, because he gives the best promos in wrestling right now. But
exactly, that's the point.
To have someone like Regal, Regal doesn't cut promos for any of the Blackpool Combat Club. He gets on commentary when they wrestle. He can do that. He can do that when MJF wrestles. And the fact that Regal just kept referring to himself as like the original heel bad guy, it was intriguing. It was intriguing.
I'm not going down that road yet. I'm not going down that road yet. But let me ask you this before we get out of here.
Yeah.
Because we didn't get a chance to talk about it yet, and we talked a lot about it in the group chat, and or I did. Tony Khan does a what's it called? I guess a shoot interview with Ariel Helwani. Ariel has really turned out to be the biggest combat sports journalist in the game these days. Mm-hmm. His show, whether it's UFC or professional wrestling or boxing, it's a must stop in New York City. He has everyone. He is awesome. I love seeing him do the interviews that he does. I love seeing him do his BT Sports Wrestling interviews. They're much more for whatever reason that network gets a lot more license to have the authentic wrestlers on as themselves than any other place I've ever seen. But Tony Khan comes on, and it's kind of the tale of two interviews in the sense of this. I was actually more impressed with Tony Khan finishing that interview, going through the whole interview. I was actually more impressed with his ability to at least be aware of what's happening in his own company. The interesting part is, and I can get this I understand this completely from a journalistic standpoint. Helwani, super frustrated, hated the interview, and even had to come on after the interview and basically say that was a waste of time. And he basically let Tony Khan do whatever he wanted because he was afraid that, one, that the relationship was already bad, or the relationship was going to get worse if this interview didn't go well. It actually started, if you listen, with Helwani saying, I thought you guys had beef with me. Mm-hmm. And Tony Khan's like, we didn't really have beef, but you basically got MJF without any of our approval. And that was a problem. Like, you bypassed all of our staff people, which, if anybody knows about AEW, we know a person in AEW who wants to come on, and AEW won't let him come on our show. So it's one of those things where it does happen. But what did you think? What did you think about the whole thing, and what was your thoughts on Tony Khan?
I think I think Helwani had some expectations, but Tony has a very full plate right now. And I think Tony probably is hopefully having some self-realization that, I got to get some things back in control. There should be Helwani knew that he wasn't going to address Punk. He wasn't going to address the suspensions. Could Tony have given him a little more? I think he could have. I understand while Helwani was frustrated, but like this is professional wrestling. This is Carney. Like you got to have those expectations. So I don't think Helwani was overreacting with sort of venting his frustration, which is legit. But TK is is at the controls right now. So I think he's got a full plate. So if he wasn't going to give him anything right now, I'm okay with it. I wish he had certainly opened up a little bit more. What I learned is that he is seemingly working full time for the Jags, working full time for the football team that he owns. I kind of thought he may have put some of those positions on the back burner.
I did too.
AEW, that is not the case, which kind of further tells me he is burning the candle at both ends, in the middle, and probably a little bit on the sides. I'd like to see him focus his concentration on AEW because that's what I care about more than Fulham Fulham more than the Jaguars. So great, but
not going to happen either. That's the read I got from that interview is that he is working with the Jags, he's working with Fulham, and he is creatively fully involved in doing everything at AEW. I was actually impressed with that cadre of jobs. I was impressed with what he seems to have an understanding of what his jobs are, especially with Jacksonville and with Fulham. And obviously he's everything in AEW. Very concerned, like we always said, that a lot of this stuff happened because he probably wasn't able to focus on all three jobs at one time or more, or whatever he's doing with TV deals. Because again, this is all encompassing. And, doing creative as well. So it was one of those things where I was actually way more impressed with him after the interview, because what we saw of him is the only times we see him on AEW is whether he's he's kind of fanning out or spazzing out or doing something that doesn't give us a lot of confidence. I think this interview gave us confidence that he's a really intelligent, really competent person, which he has to be to get this far with AEW.
No doubt about it.
But it also gives you tons of reasons for concern about moving forward. Tons of reasons for concern if anything happens with him and his well-being, right? And it's just it will be a ride. I also thought it was very interesting the way that he positions himself with AEW. I can't remember what term he used, but I think he used it's a competitor show. It's basically he knows he's the B-side all the time. They enjoy being the B-side, and they're not comparing themselves to WWE as the A-side versus the B-side as much as they're comparing themselves as the most successful B-side that's ever it's ever happened in wrestling. So it was really exciting to hear him immediately concede, yeah, we're not WWE, we're not going to be WWE. Hopefully our fans understand that we're not going to be them. I don't feel like we're going to be a worthy competitor one day. Too, it was just an interesting take on it.
Yeah, I would love to sit down and pick his brain. He's going to be the featured meet and greet guest at a Daily's Place AEW show in a couple of weeks.
Really?
If he didn't want to answer any of Helwani's questions, why is he submitting some? He's going to put himself out there.
It's going to be a love fest. That's why. It's the only people that want to see Tony Khan are people that are going to kiss his butt.
But how he's going to be asked 150 times when's Punt coming back?
Doesn't matter.
I think there's a better use of your time than doing that. But hey,
would you really want to go to dinner with Tony Khan?
Vince never did that. Oh, I'd love to. I'd love to go to dinner with any of those guys. Sure.
I don't know, man. I'm not saying it like Tony Khan's a bad guy. Yeah. I'm saying I don't think Tony Khan's going to be a really fun hang. I don't think so. I just don't think so.
Just like Mox and MJF did, we'd make chicken salad out of chicken S. If I had, I'll get out of Tony Khan. I could make him. I could have a good time at an insurance seminar, so I could bring out the good times out of Tony Khan.
There you go. All right. Well, this has been a lot of fun. Excellent time. Excellent episode in regards to our guests and the cause, and we'll post as much as we can about how to get people aware of Wrestling with Cancer on the 5th and the 6th. final thoughts. Any faces, heels, or final thoughts? Matches of the week. EJ the Collector, take us home.
Jungle Girl's our face of the week. She came on. She made this show excellent
Super
tonight.
easy. That was a layup.
Yeah, I know. Jungle Girl. Go watch the trios match from last night again.
What a great match.
Yeah, they were fantastic. All 6 of them were great. Danhausen was not there. That was a little bums me out. But he's still healing up from the shot he took from Pac last week. But and thank you again, Erica, Joan Girl. You're tremendous. I cannot wait to meet you on the 5th and 6th Hardywood Commonwealth Club, Endorphasm Foundation. Check it out, and definitely let's show some support to the group and find WoW on your local programming and give it a watch. It's good stuff.
All right, we're gonna have to leave it there. I'm trying to think. I don't have. Do I have any AEW faces or heels of the week? I don't know. We've already talked about Ray Phoenix. I love him, so that's gonna be it for me.
Dalton Castle put on a great show last night.
Dalton Castle did put on a great show last night.
Yeah,
if we can find, look, if anyone has access links or replay buttons to Triple Mania, I'd love to see it. All I've seen is highlights on social media, but I'm all in. I feel like that's going to be that was an event that I need to see. So I'll try to figure that out. But that's it, man. EJ, great show.
Thank you.
Until next time, we're going to have to count everyone out. 1, 2. We're so out of sync.
All right. Start it again.
1, 2, 3.
Until
Until next time.